Rick Without the K James presents In My Opinion Podcast.
Alright, the next topic we're going to talk about, you guys, is there a time limit after a breakup where you are able to ask what happened during the breakup, or should you even fucking ask, is the question. You guys understand that? Like if you split up, again, I know someone recently who just split up, and he was asking, man, should I find out what she was doing while I was gone? And I said, man, those are fucking questions that you don't want to ask. And he goes, up until what point? And I'm like, man, after the moment you saw her brake lights drive away, it's anything goes at that point. Because most of the women that I fucked with, if they break up with they tell me the last dude they fucked, broke up with, they was fucking their best friend 15 minutes later and shit. So I say you don't want to ask. We'll go with Kevin this time first.
So all of my pretty much answers are going to be based on real life experiences. So to answer the question, textbook answer, it's not all right, right? It's none of my business. But what I would do is, I'm pretty much trying to figure shit out immediately. The next week.
So you asked the question.
I'm fucking asking all the wrong questions, and it just hurts. You know what I mean? When you do get the information, you're like, But no, the right time is no time. But I don't follow my own advice. Yeah. So that's my bad.
Because I was saying, like, after 30 days, because people are like, well, we've been split up for 6 months. And I was like, so you really think she's not had another dick inside of her in 6 months? Man. I was like, maybe 30 days is the cusp, because you're hoping that she's giving you at least a month to figure out if she wants to come back.
But most females they got that next dick lined up immediately.
But you're talking about just asking the question, right? You're talking about asking the question why it broke up? Is that what you're asking?
No, not why it broke up.
Like what you wanted to.
Yeah, what you been doing?
You don't want to know.
What you been doing while we weren't together? Should you even fucking pose that question, or you can be like Kevin and just get yourself hurt, man?
I post what I do on Snapchat, so they gonna know.
He's got record of this shit.
He's got videos.
Did you see me on the 3rd?
Ronnie, I know what your answer is gonna be, Ronnie, but go ahead. Should you ask? Should you give a shit? Should you not?
My thing is, if they don't want to be with you, they don't want to be with you. It really doesn't fucking matter if they're fucking with someone, they fell out of love with you, whatever the reason they left, if they're fucking someone else. Don't ask a question you don't want to know the answer to. And if I cared about a woman and she's having sex with another dude after we break up, if I truly cared about her during the time, all it's going to do is cause me pain. It's just going to cause me pain. I'm going to be upset for a little while, I'm going to be fucked up, and so I would just rather, that's the kind of thing, I want to move on to my next ex. I don't want to play anymore with, you. I don't want to know about you. I don't want anything about you, because to me, once me and you break up, I don't care if you're fucking the entire Green Bay Packers football team, because it don't matter to me
Start
anymore.
off my shoulder.
But let me ask you this, though,
like
because I know you quite well. We kick it outside of the podcast, and I know you're the type of guy that wouldn't go back anyways, right?
Right.
So, have you ever gone back then? Have you ever fucked? No. So I think this is a weird question for you, because you're the type, like you said with your ex-wife, right?
I call it
like once she said she was done, you were done. Right. You're not going back.
I call it. You've heard my theory on this. I call it dirty or tainted pussy. When I get with a woman, I don't give a shit what she's done before me. I don't care who she's done before me. I don't care how many people she's done before me. I've got a past too, and I don't want her looking in that, so I'm not looking in her past. But the minute we break up, whatever she does when we're together, that's what creates waves for me. So if she has an affair on me or whatever, that's the point. That's why I don't want to ever get back with a woman.
And I just wanted to ask, because I know these two, you guys are still in your 20s and shit, and I kick it with Ronnie. He's a little older than me, and I take his advice, right, sometimes, and I think he's got this one right. You know what I mean? I believe, like, once you cut them ties, you need to fucking cut them ties and move on, man. Like, every dude, we still want to know that we can fuck the girl again, because we're territorial like that. We're like, okay, we need to know. But that's the best advice I've heard, Ronnie, and that's why I wanted to throw that in there, is because as dudes, sometimes when it's over, man. Just move the fuck on. There's more pussy out there.
One thing I want to add, just one thing. Why would you want to put yourself through that pain? That's my question. And like when you went through a bad breakup and you kept wondering about her, what's she doing, what's this or whatever, and I kept asking you, why do you want to know? And you told me a couple times, I just got to know. And it's like,
because I'm a fucking weirdo like
but
that. I wanted to know,
but I'm saying why?
I need to know.
Yeah, it's just gonna hurt, man. It's just gonna fucking hurt. Whatever you find out is just gonna hurt. You know.
But and to talk about that, you know, we just had that conversation about a week ago because I found out the dude that she was fucking before me. One of the reasons I didn't split up with her is because I was like, I know you're gonna go back and fuck him again. But it was your advice where I was like, you know what? At first, when I found out she was fucking him again, I was like, this bitch, I knew it, right? Like, and it got me feeling some certain way. But I was like, you know what? If he knows that he was fucking her, and then I fucked her, and then he's back, once he knows that, their relationship is never going to be the same, right? It's fucked to that
Playing
point.
chess, not checkers, bitch.
And I know that from chilling with Ronnie because I know what mindset I would be in, and that's what gave me solace for the whole thing to be like, that relationship's doomed. Like you can have
once again,
you can have the pussy back.
Tainted, dirty pussy. That's what I'm.
So
I'm
shout out
man.
to you, Mike. Right? So
hey, fuck series.
Yeah, fuck series. All right.
Damn,
So Jose, what's your feeling? Do you have? I guess we should start like I ended with Ronnie. Have you ever gone back to somebody that you used to fuck and you was like maybe thinking, man, I love this girl.
Oh yeah,
happened?
it's mostly repeat offenders for me, for sure.
Okay.
In terms of who I'm fucking with,
Yeah.
you gotta keep a team.
Yeah.
But I agree with what Ronnie's saying. That's the smart way to go about it. That's the way to move on, keep your hair into your 50s and shit like that. Is just not worry about it. Once I'm done with you, bitch, I'm done with you. But obviously, as a man, it's like you know it's gonna hurt your feelings to know. But then it's almost like when you get whenever you get like a little cut or whatever, and it hurts to the touch, and you just keep fucking touching it. Like I ain't no bitch. Like that's kind of what it is. And the only way that I counteract it, as you stated, I am in my 20s, so sometimes my decision making is dumb. The way I try to counteract it is, all right, she gonna be out here getting her shit off. I'm gonna get my shit off more though. So I'm gonna be. I'm out here.
So man, it becomes a game.
I'm out here wilding. I'm hunting.
That's why you on Snapchat. I'm like, okay, bitch.
If you could treat it as a number, I think that's the way to do it. If you're not getting emotionally involved in her, if you can say, if a girl calls you up and says, hey man, what are you doing this weekend? And it's one of those old games you play with, you know? Okay, let's go do something. But if you're the type of person that's gonna get emotionally fucked up over that girl, don't go back to that girl.
Of course, definitely.
And you guys do know, man. Like I said, because I think both of you guys get enough ass, right? Like I think you guys do well for yourselves as far as I've seen, right? So, but you do know you never want to play that game with a woman, right? Like compete with their numbers because you're never gonna win.
Yeah,
you're never gonna win.
Don't keep score. Don't just in your head be killing it.
Men fuck who they can, women fuck who they want. And I learned that a long time ago.
Men, women you gotta it's so much easier for a woman to not step out on a relationship and not cheat, because if you got 10, 20 dicks thrown at you a day,
just
and
dicks.
then let's say per week, you got over 1,000 dicks thrown at you for a year, and you get to pick. You're picking the litter as a man. Doesn't matter how attractive you are or whatever. You're not gonna get as many women just throwing.
I might get a pussy or two thrown at me monthly,
and pussy that you want though too. That's another thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't even want it. It just I ain't got nothing else to do. You know what I'm saying? Like it's.
But it's like feast or famine, though. We have this conversation.
Exactly.
I'll go on a dry spot for months, and then
a woman could never be dry. No pun intended. But it's like you know what I'm saying? Like
if she chooses not to be.
See,
this is what I always say. Where he talks about what was that you said again? A guy fucks who he can. A woman fucks who she wants.
She has the pick of the litter.
That's the thing to me. I've always said this to my buddies. If a man goes into a bar, he can look hot, be a good-looking young dude. He may or may not get lucky that night. A woman, all she has to do is decide if she wants to put it out.
Exactly.
If she wants to put it out, she will come home with something. It might not be the dude she wants, but she can always get somebody.
And it does vary based on the way society perceives her as if she's attractive or not. But if you're one of those women who aren't perceived as attractive to society, just go to the bar right around closing time, hang there. Somebody gonna take you. There's always an option.
But even the ugly women can get a dude.
That's what I was just saying. If you go at the end of the bar at closing hours, you're gonna get somebody.
Hey, if I strike out with dimes all night, I'm taking home a 5 or a 6.
Take on two.
I ain't never really had a dime.
Catch equal opportunity dick.
I'm equal opportunity.
That's it.
All right, ladies, the second question that we got for you is there a time limit during a breakup that you should inquire about what the other party was doing while you guys were split up? Sabrina, to you.
So, I mean, if you're already getting back into that relationship, it's almost kind of hurtful. I've been in that situation with my partner plenty of times, you know what I mean? And do I want to know? No. Will I find out? Yeah. Trust me, I find out everything. Yet, you know, I guess you're separated, so your mind is already set that we're not together. So I guess it comes down to like what you did while you were gone. Am I willing to accept it back? You know what I mean? So I don't want to ask questions, but when I start to find out, then I'll start, you know, generating like, okay, well, what was this about? Because it's sensitive, because like you like, well, if you really loved me, you wouldn't have done that, you know. But that's not really the case, I guess, you know. So, because I could easily do things that are done easily and better, you know. But it's just, I guess, all on the person. And I don't think you should really ask if you're already willing to get back together. But unless you're like, okay, you know what, this is going to determine if I'm going to get with him or not. But if you're already having the idea that you want to get back with a partner, why even ask questions like, you know what, this is the ground rules right now, this is what it is. Whatever you had going on prior needs to be cut off. Whatever ideas you want, or whatever issues we had beforehand need to be resolved, and show that there's going to be progression moving forward. Are we going to work on the issue why we broke up? You know what I mean? Whether it was lying, or whether it was I didn't like the way you handled a certain situation with my family, or whatever the case may be, you know? And of course, I feel like a lot of guys will go out after a breakup and be like, no, I'm just going to fuck this bitch real quick just so I can get my mind off of her. You know? And it's it sucks. But I deal with guys on a daily. You know, I've been a bartender for 11 years. I deal with men. A lot of people will talk to me, you know, I've heard it. So there are guys who will do that, other guys who won't, you know. It's all, I guess, all about respecting the dick. You know, do you respect your dick or not? You know? And it just is what it is. So if you're willing to get back with that person, why even bother to ask? Now, if you find out, then yes, you can go ahead and ask. But Amy, go ahead and jump on that.
I'm going to piggyback on the moving forward. Like, when you break up, I hate to say it, but when you get in a relationship, let me rewind. When you get in a relationship, you're making ties with that person. Mm-hmm. So when you break up, you're breaking ties. So that responsibility to that person is no longer with that person. Mm-hmm. So you do need to move forward. Whether you do get back with the person or whether you're moving on with your life and you're getting to the next. Mm-hmm. You don't need to be putting yourself in a position where you are backtracking or second guessing yourself or trying to figure out what they're doing, because I hate to say, when you break up, you need to be worrying about what you're doing. Yep. So for me, move forward. That's what it's at. What do you think, Max?
Totally agree. And I think there's a time that you should think about all that before you do the breakup. You have time to figure out what is what you want, think about what's going to happen next, and all that. But if you're not with the person for a reason, you're not with the person for a reason. So just let it go and move on.
Do women, on that perspective, do you guys actually think about the breakup then? Like,
prior to breaking up?
Prior to breaking up.
Yeah. I do.
Do you think, okay,
Yeah,
well, what is she going to be doing if I break up with him?
Right.
Well, yeah, because there's a lot of times like where I'm like, you know, I can really, like, I tell my partner at times, you know, because everybody has heated times, you know, so it's like, I could be doing this instead of worrying about what we got going on right now. And of course, I want to worry about you because I love you, yet if I wasn't so wrapped up in this relationship, because it takes time, like, you know, it takes a lot of time and a lot of energy, and sometimes, like, you're like, is this even really worth giving a fuck about? You know what I mean? Because there's only so many fucks you can give. So should I even be giving you one?
I don't know. I have a little different opinion. It depends on the situation, though, because, I mean, if you've been like 3 months where you guys are just disconnecting and it's just not working, the breakup's already going on in your head. Like, what's going on? We're slipping. And then when you finally cut it off, whether it's that person or you, then amends are already made, you can move forward. But if it was a sudden hit where you didn't know what was going on or something, then you are going to be like, whoa, let me slow down, figure out what's going on. But if you kind of seen it coming, I mean, you got hit by the truck, you got hit by the truck. But if you didn't get hit by the truck, you didn't get hit by the truck. So it depends on, you know.
I feel like go ahead.
I was going to say the heat of passion. Because when it happens suddenly and quickly, you don't have time to process, you don't have time to think about it. You realize, okay, now I'm not sure if I want to lose this person. I still have feelings, I have a life with this person, and I want it back. But then at the same time, I'm so mad and I can't deal with the situation, whatever it happened, that I'm mad and I want to close everything, but I want to know what is he doing.
Of course.
And it's like an evil thing too inside. You can't just let a guy go and be with somebody else and be happy. You know? So, okay.
Yeah.
So I feel like, yes,
You
the
wanna
best. In reality, you wanted to just cut, move on, and let it go. But then
Everybody
we
has a
go
little bit of
inside.
doubt.
We still want to know what's happening and what's going on.
That curiosity that kills the
Yep.
cat.
Yo, it's your boy Charlie Murphy, my main man, Rick James. That's the one you think, the comedian Rick James. Get up on him.